Happy Monday, Craft Files. Welcome to episode 7 of Sew Not Scary, a show where we are defeating our fear of sewing forever. And in this episode, we are going to talk all about the mini sewing machine foot pedal, which is here in my hand. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly what a mini sewing machine foot pedal looks like. How does it connect to the sewing machine and where does it connect to the mini sewing machine? You will also know how the mini sewing machine foot pedal works, along with speed settings if your small machine has it. And finally, you will also learn whether you can actually do without a foot pedal. So in my hand here, I've got a mini sewing machine foot pedal. This foot pedal came with my sewing machine. Okay, it was part of the box in which everything came. And it's actually just this little black device. I've coiled its wire around it for ease of storage, but it's about this big, which is fairly small. I hope you can see it. It's called a foot pedal because it's actually supposed to sit underneath your desk and you're supposed to operate it or switch it on with your foot's pressure. So when you put your foot on it and when you press, look what happens. See? It presses down. There is some movement. And when you press down on it with your foot, it triggers the on switch and your sewing machine or your mini sewing machine can work. So that's what it looks like. It comes with a fairly long cord, so you can easily dangle it underneath your desk and put it on the floor. Okay, now where does it connect? So if I turn my mini sewing machine to the side like so, you will notice that at the bottom here there are two holes or two connecting points, and one clearly says foot pedal. Can you guys read it? I don't know if you can, but it says foot pedal. Okay, and clearly that's where it's supposed to connect. So let's just connect it and see how it goes. So that's the connecting end of the foot pedal's wire, and I simply insert it there. Boom, it's done. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the speed settings on your sewing machine when you're sewing with the foot pedal. On this machine, there are 3 purple buttons on one side, and right now we are just going to look at the bottom button. Okay, the bottom button has a H and an L there. Okay, the H is for high speed, L is for low speed. So when I press this button and pop it out, it's popped out now, the machine is going to work at high speed, and when I press it in, it's going to operate at low speed. Now personally, in my experience of using this sewing machine, I've only had it for a few weeks now, I think this mini sewing machine operates best when you set it on the lower speed. Okay, so that's what we're going to stick with. I've selected the low speed option, and that's how we're going to run our mini sewing machine with our foot pedal today. But hang on, we can't just run the mini sewing machine without electricity. So we need electricity as well. Where do we get that from? So underneath the connecting point for the foot pedal, there's another connecting point for DC power supply, it says. Okay, and this is where your power plug connects. So here I have the end of the power plug. Okay, and I'm simply going to pop this into this hole right there. Can you guys see it? And it's done. And now we know that the mini sewing machine has got power because look here, see that top button? That says light bulb. Okay, so if I press this, you will see a light bulb switch on and shine its light down there. So let's go. Do you see that? The light switched on, so we know that we've got power. Okay, So with that in mind, now we are going to start using our mini sewing machine foot pedal. So bear with me while I just pop this underneath my desk, okay? So this part of the video is not going to be covered. Okay, so the foot pedal is now underneath the mini sewing machine under my desk, okay? So you can see this wire is running away from the sewing machine, so it's actually going down underneath my desk and it's within my foot's reach. And to illustrate how it works, I'm going to sew this piece of felt. It's nice and stiff so we can see clearly what we're doing. So I have threaded my mini sewing machine with black thread on top, and there's a white bobbin down there so you know clearly which thread is which. Now, if you don't know how to thread your mini sewing machine, watch my earlier episodes of Sew Not Scary. I'm posting the links to those videos down below, and it makes it super easy for you to figure out how to thread your mini sewing machine quickly and easily. So without further ado, let's get started. Step 1, we raise the presser foot. So there is a purple lever at the back. We do that, and the presser foot lifts up. So now that the presser foot is up, as you can see, I'm going to take my piece of felt and put it underneath the presser foot. I will lower the presser foot down, switch on the light so I can see clearly, okay? And with my hand, I'm going to turn the hand wheel towards myself, okay? So here we go. I turn the hand wheel towards myself, okay? 1 and 2, maybe one more time, 3, just to get started so you know what's going on. You don't always need to do this. And now my foot is on the foot pedal of the mini sewing machine, and we're going to see how it works. I'm gently going to just touch it and press it. So I've been pressing down on the foot pedal very gently, okay? I'm literally just pressing it 1 stitch at a time, and you can see how slowly the sewing machine moves. Now I'm going to press down on the foot pedal continuously to show you how that feels. Okay, so that was pressing down continuously on the foot pedal on low speed. Now let me show you how it feels on high speed. So I'm going to just press the speed button there, turn into high speed, and let's see how it works. As you can hear, probably there's clearly a difference in speed. The mini sewing machine did start speeding up its sewing. Also, there is a change in the pitch or the noise that the machine is making. Personally, I don't really like that noise, so I prefer to sew on this mini sewing machine on the low speed setting. So I've pressed down on the speed setting again, and I'm going to continue pressing down continuously on low speed on the presser foot. Now, what if you said, hey, my mini sewing machine never came with a foot pedal? Or what if you don't want to use a foot pedal, okay, and you're unsure about using it maybe, or you just simply don't feel like using your feet while sewing? What do you do? Well, the good thing about this mini sewing machine, unlike most large sewing machines, is that it actually comes with a hand operating function. So the middle button amongst those 3 purple buttons, there's the off switch and the on switch. So it tells you what's the off position and what's the on position. So my speed is still on low, my light bulb is still on, as you can see, and now I'm going to operate the sewing machine without the foot pedal. So what I'm actually going to do is to show you, I'm actually going to pull out the foot pedal cord. So that's the foot pedal cord. I'm just going to pull it out. So it's no longer connected to the mini sewing machine, okay? Can we still run the machine without it? The answer is yes, and let me show you how. So to do that, you just have to press on this button, and I've still selected the low speed to show you. Here we go. So can you see, you can actually get a sense of greater control when you operate the mini sewing machine by hand. So even if I just hover my hand on this button gently and gently press down, the machine will work. Okay. What if I want to work it continuously? Well, you just press down on it. Did you see? I actually moved my thumb away and it continued to work because the button was in the down position. Let me show you again. Okay, so this is like when you're feeling super confident about your sewing skills and you just want to touch the button and let go to sew in a straight line. That's when this setting is perfect. But for most intents and purposes, I would say hover your thumb and then let go when you're done, and that gives you more precise, more controllable results. Now, what's a better way of operating your mini sewing machine? Should you use the foot pedal or should you use the button? Well, obviously some people might say it depends, and that is part of the answer, but in my opinion, I think it's always a great idea to get to know your foot pedal and to get to learn how the foot pedal works, simply because when your right hand is occupied with operating this button, you only have one hand left to maneuver your fabric or your cloth, and that gives you lesser control when you want to sew things like curves. Okay, so ideally you should have both hands controlling your fabric, okay? Which is why it's a good idea to get to know how to use the foot pedal on a mini sewing machine. So I would always recommend that when you are starting out getting to know your machine, learn to use your foot pedal, okay? But for instances when maybe you're tight on space, or maybe you don't even have time to set up your mini sewing machine completely, or maybe it's just a simple small project with straight lines, then the button works better. So for those purposes, yeah, use the button, but for the most part, do get to know what the mini sewing machine foot pedal is all about, how it works, and how best you can use it to create your sewing projects. I hope this has been useful. If this video helped you in any way whatsoever, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you know as soon as I post a new video. And I shall see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.